Yo, what's up, USA, International, Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. This is your man and homie, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, your host with the most, Mr. the Still Lonely Nomad, Unstoppable Independent Podcaster, and of course, Queens, New York native, who is also a New York Mets fan from the neck of the woods of Laurelton, Queens, New York. And yes, you are now rocking with me by listening, tuning in, streaming, and watching the 141st episode of the Entertainment Review Show, Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, live and direct from StreamYard alongside of the comfort of my room and YouTube. And 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 if you're wondering what happened with me, um I took some time off actually to actually, you know, get myself together after losing my job 9 months ago. And and I will admit it was pretty rough though, getting all these rejection emails and stuff. And and on top of that, I had to shuffle around the podcast recording schedule because of the Mets games that I have to watch, so I can have some things to talk about for my sports podcast, um, as well as the highlights. So that's why I took some time off. You know what I mean? So in case you're wondering what happened with me, that's the story, and I just wanted to actually be real for a second, actually, to let you know what was going on with me. So there you go, right there. All right. Now that I got that out the way, though, man, I am so ready to actually get into this episode and upcoming episodes. But for today's episode, we're dedicating to um we're dedicating to the Hulksters, meaning the Incredible Hulk and She-Hulk, and many more. But first, how's everyone doing though, man? I hope y'all had a good Memorial Day weekend. And I know today's the last day of May. June is tomorrow. And and I'm pretty sure everybody's ready for to plug in their air conditioners in their rooms and stuff. I know I am, but I'm gonna plug in mine probably next week. So yeah, let's cut to the chase. Let's cut to the chase with this music Kool-Aid. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it right here. Um, Hold on. Hold on one second, folks. All right, give me one second, folks. All right. Today's music Kool-Aid, we're going to be talking about Lil Wayne. And this is according to the folks from Hip Hop Wired. All right. Um let's get into it. Um yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, um yes, so here's what's happening here. Um so Little Wayne is ushering a new chapter for his iconic Young Money label, officially launching what he's calling the new era of the imprint. In a recent episode of his Young Money radio show on Apple Music, the legendary rapper unveiled a refreshed roster of familiar faces with exciting new voices ready to carry the torch. In the early 2010s, Young Money made history with a powerhouse lineup including Drake, Nicki Minaj, and Tiger, artists who would go on to become global superstars. Today, while the label's sound and style continue to evolve, the legacy remains intact through longtime members like Euro, Corey Guns, and Little Twist, who are sticking with the movement into 2025. Wow. Joining them are a wave of fresh talent: Jay Jones, Alan Cubas, uh, Lucifina, Poppy, and Dom. What is it? Domio. 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 Anyway, each bringing their own flavor and energy to the collective. One standout among the newcomers is Domio, a rising rapper from um, Broomall, Pennsylvania. In a recent interview with Hip Hop Wired, um, Domio spoke about the profound Wayne had on him growing up and how surreal it feels to now be signed under his idol. His recent Hip Hop Wired freestyle showcases his lyrical skills and offers a glimpse into what Weezy sees in him. With this new lineup, Lil Wayne is proving that Young Money isn't just a memory, it's a movement that continues to evolve, adapt, and lead. As the new era unfolds, fans can expect a fresh wave of music, collaborations, and creativity that stays true to the label's roots while carving out its future. That shit sounds lit. That shit sounds lit though. All right. All right. Let's get into the Incredible Hulk movie um that came out actually years ago. Um now now you're probably wondering why I'm not talking why am I not talking about the previous Hulk movie. Some people said that the previous Hulk movie before the Incredible Hulk that came out the movie, it sucked. So that's why I'm not reviewing that whack ass movie. But I figured I'd just go with the Incredible Hulk movie. So we're gonna get into it right here in a segment that I like to call the Chillax Man Cave Popcorn Lounge. All right. Now, in case anybody is new here, this is where I actually talk about the movies that came out previously came out and stuff. And I just, give my thoughts on whether it was like, and depending on the budget of the movie, should be able to tell you whether the movie is good or bad. But I'm not one of those individuals who is a critic who is hating on every movie. I'm not gonna do that. But certain movies turn me off compared to those that don't. So here it is, the Chillax Man Cave Popcorn, dedicated to the Incredible Hulk movie that came out in 2008. All right, let's get into it. The Incredible Hulk is a 2008 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics character the Hulk, produced by Marvel Studios and Valhalla Motion Pictures and distributed by Universal Pictures. It is the second film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was directed by Louis Leterrier from a screenplay by Zach Penn and stars Edward Norton as Bruce Banner alongside Liv Tyler, Tim Roth, William Hurt, Tim Blake Nelson, Ty Burrow, and Christina Cabot. In the film, Banner becomes the monstrous Hulk as an unwitting pawn in a military scheme to reinvigorate the super soldier program through gamma radiation. He goes on the run from the military while attempting to cure himself of the Hulk. Well, and the budget for the movie is between 137.5 to $150 million. It made its it made its money back. It made its money back. I will get to it actually. So after the mixed after the mixed reception to Universal's 2003 film Hulk, Marvel Studios reacquired the rights to the character, though Universal retained distribution rights. Leterrier, who expressed interest in directing Iron Man for Marvel, was brought on board, and Penn wrote a script that was closer to the comics in the 1978 to 1982 television series. In April 2007, Norton was hired to portray Banner and to rewrite Penn's screenplay. His script positioned the film as a reboot of the series, distancing it from the 2003 film to give the new version its own identity. Edward, Norton was ultimately not credited for his writing. Filming took place from July to November 2007, primarily in Toronto, with additional filming in New York City and Rio de Janeiro. Over 700 visual effects shots were created in post production using a combination of motion capture and computer generated imagery. That's what CGI stands for, computer generated imagery. All right. For those of you who may not know what computer generated imagery, let's break this down. Computer generated imagery is a specific technology or application of computer graphics for creating or improving images in art, printed media, simulators, videos, and video games. These images are either static or dynamic. CGI both refers to 2D computer graphics and more frequently 3D computer graphics with the purpose of designing characters, virtual worlds, or scenes and special effects, especially in films, television programs, commercials, etc. The application of CGI for creating improving animations is called computer animation or CGI animation. Ooh, okay. So that's all right. And wait a minute. Computer animation. Let's talk about that too. So, computer animation is the process used for digitally generating moving images. The more general term computer generated imagery encompasses both still images and moving images, while computer animation only refers to moving images. Modern computer animation usually uses 3D computer graphics. Computer animation is a digital successor to stop motion and traditional animation. Instead of a physical model or illustration, a digital equivalent is manipulated frame by frame. Also, computer generated animations allow a single graphic artist to produce such content without using actors, expensive set pieces, or props. To create the illusion of movement, an image is displayed on the computer monitor and repeatedly replaced by a new similar image but advanced slightly in time. This technique is identical to how the illusion of movement is achieved with television and motion pictures. So there you go. There you go. Um, so there you go. The breakdown to all this actually. Wait, there's more. To trick the visual system to trick the visual system into seeing a smoothly moving object. The picture should be drawn at around 12 frames per second or faster with rates above 75 to 120 frames per second. No improvement in realism or smoothness is perceivable due to the way the eye and the brain both process images at rates below 12 frames per second. Most people can detect jerkiness associated with drawing of new images that detracts from the illusion of realistic movement. Conventional hand-drawn cartoon animation often uses 15 frames per second in order to save on the number of drawings needed. But this is usually accepted because of the stylized nature of cartoons. To produce more realistic imagery, computer animation demands higher frame rates. Films seen in theaters in the United States run at 24 frames per second, which is sufficient to create the appearance of continuous movement. Yeah, yeah, you know what? Okay, so you're probably gonna get the idea. So 2D computer animation, and 3D animation. So 2D computer graphics are still used for stylistic low bandwidth and faster real-time renderings. Computer animation is essentially a digital successor to stop motion techniques, but using 3D models and traditional animation techniques using frame by frame animation to 2D illustrations. Um, for 2D animations, separate objects, illustrations, and separate transparent layers are used with or without that virtual skeleton. And and 2D sprites and pseudocode. In 2D computer animation, moving objects are often referred to as sprites, not the soda. Not the fucking soda, not the fucking soda, folks. Oh man. A sprite is an image that has a location associated with it. The location of the sprite is changed slightly between each displayed frame to make the sprite appear to move. The following pseudocode makes a sprite move from left to right. So there you go. I don't need to go into computer assisted animation. I don't need to go through that. Um, I want to actually get into, yeah, for 3D computer animations, objects models are built on the computer monitor modeled, and 3D figures are rigged with a virtual skeleton. Then the limbs, eyes, mouth, clothes, etc. of the figure are moved by the animator on keyframes. Normally, the differences between keyframes are drawn in the process known as tweening. However, in 3D computer animation, this is done automatically and is called interpolation. Finally, the animation is rendered and composited. All right, so y'all get the idea. Y'all get the idea of computer animation, 2D, 3D, and all that stuff, right? Yeah. Yeah. So there you go, right there. Um, so there you go. Ah, so there you go. Let's get back to the Incredible Hulk. All right. They're premiered at the Gibson Amphitheater in Universal City, California on June 8th, 2008, and was released in the United States on June 13th as part of Phase 1 of the MCU. It received praise for its action sequences and was considered an improvement over the 2003 film, but it was criticized as lacking in depth. The film grossed $265.6 million worldwide. That's 250, no, excuse me, $265.6 million. Hold on. That's not what I'm. Come on. All right. Okay, I know where I left off. Okay. Norton and Marvel Studios had various production disagreements while working on the film, including over the final edit, which Marvel Studios deemed uncollect uncollaborative. Norton was replaced in the role of Banner by Mark Ruffalo for subsequent MCU appearances, starting with the Avengers in 2012. And all right, so let's go to marketing. Let's go to marketing. All right. So effort was made to promote the story as having a romance and a physical antagonist, and the title was used for promotional puns, such as 7-Eleven's Incredible Gulp, Slurpees, and Incredible Dad themed Father's Day gifts at K at Kmart. Burger King also promoted the film, and General Nutrition Centers used the title character as a role model for strength training. Hasbro created the toy line, which they released on May 3rd, 2008. Sega two tie-in video games on June 5th, 2008. A version for consoles and personal computers was developed by Edge of Reality, while a handheld version for the Nintendo DS was developed by Amaze Entertainment. The film was promoted in an episode of American Gladiators on June 9th, 2008, which was hosted by Hulk Hogan and featured Lou Ferrigno. Following the editing dispute between Norton and uh, Letteria, Universal's Adam Fogelson and Norton planned a promotional tour that would avoid constant media interviews and therefore uncomfortable questions. Norton attended the premiere, took part in a Jimmy Kimmel live sketch, and would also promote the film in Japan. However, during the film's release, he chose to do charity work in Africa. Whoo! Wow. All right, let's go to the reception for the box office. So The Incredible Hulk earned $134.8 million in the United States and Canada, as well as $130.8 million from other territories, for a worldwide total of $265.6 million. The film, even though it barely passed its predecessor and only equaled it if the smaller budget of the film, excuse me, the first film, if the smaller budget of the first film is taken into account, was still considered moderately successful. Entertainment analyst David Davis told the Hollywood Reporter, "The first Hulk had such high expectations after you know the after the NBC Universal merger and was supposed to be critical favorite and Ange Lee's breakout commercial blockbuster. Then with the new Hulk film, Marvel was able to underplay the importance of the success after the great success of Iron Man this summer. So the new one over delivered relative to its under promise. The Incredible Hulk earned $55.4 million in its opening weekend, becoming the top film at the box office. Um, behind Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, it was the second highest gross for a film released over the Father's Day weekend. This surpassed industry expectations of a $45 million opening. 45 or $45 million opening, following the disappointing response to the 2003 film. Universal believed word of mouth would contribute to the film breaking even eventually. The Incredible Hulk also opened in 38 other countries, adding $31 million to the total opening. The film outgrossed the 2003 in South Korea, while its opening in Mexico and Russia created records for Universal. The film grossed 24 million 24 million yuan, roughly $3.4 million in its Chinese opening on August 26th, outgrossing the previous film's overall gross of 10 million yuan, which is dollars. All right, let's go to the critical response. The review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes reported an approval rating of 68% with an average score of 6.2 out of 10 based on 237 reviews. The website's critical consensus reads, "The Incredible Hulk may not be quite the smashing success that fans of Marvel's raging behemoth might hope for, but it offers more than enough big green action to make up for its occasionally puny narrative. Hmm. All right, puny narrative. Metacritic gave the film an average score of 61 out of 100 based on 38 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A- on an A+ to F scale. Todd McCarthy of Variety said what seemed in theory the least necessary revival of a big screen superhero emerges as perfectly solid summer action, fair in The Incredible Hulk. He emphasized it's all par for the course cinematic demolition and destruction, staged efficiently with a hint of enthusiasm and penned with sporadic wit. Visuals lean toward the dark and murky, but editing by actually six hands is fleet. And Craig Armstrong's ever present score is simultaneously bombastic and helpfully supportive of the action. Effects are in line with Pix's generally pro but not inspired achievements. Renee Rodriguez of the Miami Herald applauded that the film does a lot of things. Ang Lee's Hulk didn't. It's lighter and faster paced. It's funnier and embraces instead of ignoring the 1970s TV series that furthered the character's popularity. Mark Ronner of the Seattle Times wrote that, in quote, the relaunch of Marvel's Green Goliath is an improvement over director Ang Lee's ponderous 2003 Hulk in nearly every way, except that the actual Hulk still looks scarcely better than something from a video game, and he still barely talks. Roger Ebert was not a fan of the film, stating The Incredible Hulk is no doubt an ideal version of the Hulk saga for those who found Ang Lee's Hulk too talky, or dare I say too thoughtful, but not for me. It sidesteps the intriguing aspects of Hulkdom and spends way too much time in, dare I say, noisy and mindless action sequences. Come on. Conversely, Christy Lemire of the Associated Press found that the inevitable comparisons to Iron Man Marvel Studios' first blockbuster this summer serve as a glaring reminder of what the Hulk lacks: wit and heart. Despite the presence of Edward Norton, an actor capable of going just as deep as Robert Downey Jr., we don't feel a strong sense of Bruce Banner's inner conflict. A.O. Scott of the New York Times opined Adequate Hulk would have been a more suitable title. You're First of all, this guy is dumb. Why would you do that? Why the hell would you do that? Why the hell would you do that though, man? Are you really that dumb? That was the dumbest thing you ever said. That's the dumbest thing you ever said, though, man. Oh my gosh. That's the dumbest shit you ever said. Anyway. Oh shit. Um yeah, so there are some big thumping fights and a few bright shards of pop cultural wit. But for the most part, this movie seems content to aim for the generic meme. David Anson of Newsweek wrote, Lateria has style. He's good with action and he's eager to give the audience its money's worth of bone crunching battles. Still, once the movie leaves the the atmospheric Brazilian settings, nothing in the Hulk sinks in deeply. Its familiar genre pleasures are all on the surface. The movie's scene stealer is Tim Blake Nelson, making a comically welcome third act appearance as the unethical but madly enthusiastic scientist Samuel Stearns. Well, that's pretty good, actually. That's pretty good. So the Incredible Hulk got a bunch of nominations for the Teen Choice Awards, National Movie Awards, Scream Awards, actually, along with Edward Norton. This one is for Choice Summer Movie Action, Best Superhero, Edward Norton, Best Performance Male, Best Fantasy Movie, Best Fantasy Actor, Edward Norton again, Best Superhero, The Incredible Hulk, Best Remake, Hulk Smash, Best Line, and um, the movie got a nomination for Best Comic Book Movie. And of course, Craig Armstrong won for the ASCAP Film and Television Music Awards in the top box office films. And lastly, The Incredible Hulk got a nomination for the Saturn Awards for Best Science Fiction Film. And now I don't know about the future. I don't know what's going on with the future, so it's not going to be easy. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be I don't know if there's going to be a future sequel of the Incredible Hulk. I think it has to do with the budget of the CGI and and other effects for the character. According to what Mark Ruffalo is saying, actually, um, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. So I'm just going to leave it at that right there. So yeah, that you know, it just goes to show that the Incredible Hulk was a good movie, man, and it made its money back. You know what I mean? And I don't care what any fucking critic on YouTube says or whatever whatsoever, but it it is an awesome movie, and if y'all didn't look at it, y'all more than welcome to actually check it out. All right, let's get into some TV show checkouts right here, man. And this is also dedicated to the Hulksters and and of course, as you can see, it is also dedicated to She-Hulk. I will get to She-Hulk in a second. So let's get into it right here in TV show checkouts. All right. Before I go to She-Hulk, let's get into the cartoon of the Incredible Hulk. Yes, the Incredible Hulk is an American animated television series starring the Marvel Comics character the Hulk. It aired for 2 seasons, with 21 episodes on UPN from 1996 to 1997. Lou Ferrigno, who portrayed the Hulk on the live-action TV series from 1978 to 1982, provided the Hulk's voice. And of course, Neil McDonald, Lou Ferrigno, um, and of course, obviously the late great Luke Perry, Jeannie Francis, Phyllis Sampler, John Vernon, Kevin Scott, Michael Donovan, Cree Summer, who you may know from A Different World, Matt Frewer, Mark Hamill, who you may know from the Star Wars movies, Richard Mall, and Kathy Ireland. So yeah, and of course, and of course, it was actually executive produced by the late great Stan Lee. Um, so there you go. The show often featured cameo appearances by characters from other Marvel cartoons of the period. In the second season, the show's format, after UPN decided that season one was too dark, was changed, and to give female viewers a chance, the network ordered that She-Hulk um, be made a regular co-star. As a result, the series was officially renamed The Incredible Hulk and She-Hulk for the second season. The second season also featured Grey Hulk, who previously made two cameo appearances in the first season. Oh boy. Um. All right. So yeah, I'm not gonna wait. I don't think I want to actually. Let me see. Shit. I'm not gonna go over the spoilers, man. You know what I mean? I don't want to go over the spoilers. Actually, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Um. Okay. So all right, so the show was briefly aired on ABC Family as part of its unnamed pre-Jetix era action adventure oriented programming kids morning block following the release of the live action film in 2003 as well as a DVD release. The show also aired on Toon Disney as a part of their primetime action adventure block Jetix. The show also became the last program to air on the US Jetix block and Toon Disney overall. The series previously aired on Disney XD from February 13th, 2009 to March 31st, 2012. It is currently owned and distributed by the Walt Disney Company, which acquired all Fox Kids related properties from News Corporation and Saban International in 2001. All 21 episodes were previously available for streaming on marvel.com and on Netflix. The series now streams on Disney Plus, so y'all can go check it out actually. All right, y'all can go check it out, you know what I mean? So there you go. Yeah, I didn't want to get into season 1 and season 2 because number 1, I didn't want to get into spoilers and stuff, so you know what I mean? So yeah. Okay, She-Hulk. Okay, let's get into She-Hulk actually. Let's get into She-Hulk. She-Hulk, where is it? Yes, let's get into She-Hulk. All right, so She-Hulk is a character appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics, created by late great Stan Lee and artist John um, Buscema. She first appeared in the Savage She-Hulk #1, in November 1979. Walters is a lawyer who, after an assassination attempt, received an emergency blood transfusion from her cousin, Bruce Banner, and required a milder version of his Hulk condition. So, as such, Walters becomes a large, powerful, green hued version of herself. Unlike Banner in his Hulk form, Walters largely retains her normal personality in her She-Hulk form. In particular, most of her intelligence and emotional control. Furthermore, though she's much taller in her She-Hulk form, Walters' body mass is just as dense as that of her normal human self in any case. Like She-Hulk, like Hulk, She-Hulk is still susceptible to outbursts of anger and becomes much stronger when enraged. In later series, her transformation is permanent and she often breaks the fourth wall for humorous effect and running gags, as the first major Marvel character to do so frequently, ahead of the more famous fourth wall breaker, Deadpool. All right. And let me see. Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, I'm sorry. Jennifer Susan Walters, I think, is the person who played She-Hulk. Hmm. Let's see. And She Hulk has been a member of the Avengers, Shield, Defenders, Fantastic Four, Heroes for Hire, and Fantastic Force at various points in her history as a highly skilled lawyer who became a superhero by accident. She frequently leverages her legal and personal experience to serve as legal counsel to various superheroes and other superhumans. She Hulk has been described as one of Marvel's most notable and powerful female heroes since her original introduction in comics. The character has been featured in various other Marvel licensed products, including video games, animated television series, and merchandise. Walter made her live action debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the Disney Plus original series She Hulk Attorney at Law, portrayed by Tatiana Maslany. Wow. Okay. Okay. Hold on a second. Hang on one second. Yeah, okay, so let me just okay, so let's get into it actually. So She-Hulk Attorney at Law is an American television miniseries created by Jessica Gao for the streaming service Disney Plus, based on Marvel Comics featuring the character She-Hulk. It is the eighth television series in the Marvel Cinematic Universe produced by Marvel Studios, sharing continuity with the films of the franchise. It follows Jennifer Walters, a lawyer specializing in cases involving superhumans who also become the green superhero She-Hulk. Gal served as head writer and Kat um, Cairo led the directing team. Okay, so Tatiana Maslany, Jamil Ginger Gonzaga, Mark Ruffalo, Josh Segara, Mark Kincaid, Tim Roth, Megan D. Stallion, Benedict Wong, Renee Elise Goldsberry, John Bass, Reese Coiro, Griffin Matthews, Patty Harrison, Steve Coulter, Charlie Cox, who you may know from the Daredevils TV series on Netflix, Brandon Stanley, and Drew Matthews. Okay. Everybody knows that it's been executive produced by Kevin Feige, and along with everyone else. So I'm not gonna go through all these names, but let's get into it here. So um Tatiana Maslany stars as Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, alongside Jamila. Yeah, that part too. So Jamila Jamil, Ginger Gonzaga, um, Mark Ruffalo, Josh Segarra, Mark Lynn Baker, Tess Malice Kincaid, Tim Roth, Megan D. Stallion, Benedict Wong, Renee, Elise Goldsberry, John Bass, Reese Coiro, Griffin Matthews, Patty Harrison, Steve Coulter, Charlie Cox, Brandon Stanley, and Drew Matthews. She-Hulk was announced in August 2019, and Gal was hired that November. Coiro joined to direct multiple episodes in September 2020. In December, Maslaney's casting was officially announced, and Anu Valia was hired to direct multiple episodes. Filming took place in Atlanta, Georgia from April to August 2021. She-Hulk Attorney premiered on August 18th, 2022, and ran for 9 episodes until October 13th. It is the last television series for Phase 4 in the MCU. The series received generally positive reviews from critics, with particular praise for Maslaney's performance, though reception to the series' visual effects was mixed. And of course, the marketing. Let's go to the marketing. Should we go to the marketing? Yeah. Let's go to the marketing. Okay. All right. So the first footage of the series debuted on Disney Plus Day on November 12th, 2021. The teaser ends with Walters saying to the audience, in quote, "Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry." Oh shit. Alongside Ruffalo as Banner, which is a homage to an an episode of the 1970s live action television series The Incredible Hulk, in which Bill Bixby, who portrayed David Banner, as says the line. Ruffalo was in a similar pose and costume as Bixby. Foggy and Maslany debuted the trailer for the series on May 17, 2022 at Disney's upfront presentation. The trailer was criticized for its visual effects, with many fans online expressing their disappointment. Despite this, Charles Pulliam Moore of The Verge called it simply smashing and highlighted the trailer's visual effects, adding that the show's clearly going to be Jennifer's to own as she embarks on her own path to heroism. Let me see. Zachariah Kelly of Gizmodo Australia felt the trailer does not disappoint at all, calling the scene where She-Hulk cradles her Tinder date like a baby absolutely hilarious, and enjoyed having more context to the clips first seen in the Disney Plus Day footage. Meanwhile, Richard Trenholm and Joan E. Salzman from CNET described the trailer as hilarious and wrote that it sells the playful tone of the upcoming show. Tech Radar's Lembrecht Stephen Lembrecht, meanwhile, opined that the trailer was faithful to comic book runs of the character, though he acknowledged criticism surrounding the use of the visual effects. The trailer was viewed 78 million times in the 24 hours after it was released, which was the second most views for an MCU Disney Plus trailer in a 24-hour time frame, only behind the Falcon and the Winter Soldiers Super Bowl trailer. Super Bowl trailer, actually. Wait, 59. Wait, let me see something. Yeah, I think it's 59. No, it's not 59. It's 57. Is it 50? It might be 56. I could be mistaken. But anyway, I could be mistaken for it though. Let's see. Yes, the series was promoted at the 2022 San Diego Comic-Con with Koiro Valia, Gal Maslany, Gonzaga, and Jamil alongside the release of the second trailer. Andrew Webster of The Verge felt the trailer had more lighthearted tone than the first one, with some legal drama. E.D. Diong M. Boho of Collider stated that the trailer set the comedic tone mixed with the epic of the series. Damn, some people be having some names that's so hard to fucking pronounce, man. But I'm doing my best not to butcher it. You know what I mean? Just bear with me here. Let's see. Jacob Sar Jacob Sarkisian. No, hold on. Jacob Sarkisian of Digital Spy found She-Hulk's fourth wall breaking the eye-catching feature of the trailer. Similarly, Daniel Chin of The Ringer highlighted the comedic tone that's true to the fourth wall breaking nature of its source material of the trailer and felt it revealed more about the plot. A poster also released at Comic-Con featured a hotline number that pre-recorded that had a pre-recorded message from Walters describing the services her law firm provided super-powered individuals. An episode of the series Marvel Studios Legends was released on August 10th, 2022, exploring Banner using footage of his MCU film appearances. Disney created an ad on Tinder meant to represent a dating profile for Walters. Damn. While a faux commercial for Walters law firm Goodman Lieber, Kurtzberg, and Holloway was released ahead of the series premiere, which Cameron Bonomolo from comicbook.com described as a better soul style advertisement. Ahead of the release of the second episode, a Twitter account of um, a, a Twitter account for Titania was created, while a video was released of Jamil in character covering real world posters for the series on Sunset Boulevard with her own and spray painting her name on them. This was after Titania's brief appearance at the end of the first episode, with Jamil believing there was something so iconic and very desperate about someone promoting themselves after such a brief appearance. Jamil also appeared in character in New York City in September 2022 for a what is it? Was it L official party and Kourtney Kardashian's Boohoo fashion show. Jamel chose to make these appearances in character as a way to pay homage to how the series breaks the fourth wall. At that time, a message from Tanya, Tanya, excuse me, appeared on the hotline number, replacing the previous one. Following the season finale, the hotline number featured a new message from Mallory Book and Pug Advertising, the superhuman law services from GLK&H, and touting the various famous clients they worked with, such as Megan Thee Stallion, Blonsky, and Wong. A QR code was included in each episode, linking viewers to a website to access free digital comics featuring She-Hulk that updated weekly, a program which was first introduced in Moon Knight. The comics released for the episodes in order were Savage She-Hulk number 1, She-Hulk number 1, 2004, Savage She-Hulk number 2, West Coast Avengers Annual number 4, She-Hulk 2004, number 10, West Coast Avengers number 46, Tales to Astonish number 48, She-Hulk 2014 number 9, and Sensational She-Hulk number 50. The Marvel must-haves merchandise program, which reveals new toys, games, books, apparel, home decor, and other merchandise related to each episode of She-Hulk following in episodes release started for the episodes on August 19th and concluded on October 15th, 2022. Sheesh. Oh man. Yeah. All right, let's go to reception, man. Let's go to reception. Um Whip Media, which tracks viewership data for the more than 21 million worldwide users of its TV Time app, calculated that She-Hulk Attorney at Law was the second most anticipated new series for August 2022. Variety's trending TV chart, which tracks social media engagement across trending television content, reported that She-Hulk Attorney at Law generated 634,000 engagements on Twitter from May 16th to 22, May 16th to the 22nd, 2022. The series debuted in second place on the chart following the release of its first trailer at the Disney Upfront presentation in New York on May 17th, according to market research company Parrot Analytics, which looks at consumer engagement and consumer research, streaming downloads, and on social media. She-Hulk emerged as one of the most in demand new series in the third quarter of 2022, ranking as the third most in demand premiere with 30.5 times the average series demand in its first 30 days. Luminate, which measures streaming performance in the US by analyzing viewership data, audience engagement metrics, and content reach across various platforms, reported that She-Hulk um, accounted for 8.9% of total original series viewership on Disney Plus between December 31st, 2021 and December 29th, 2022. Market research company YouGov estimated that She-Hulk was the 13th most popular news series of 2022 based on analysis of search volume, stream behavior, and engagement metrics like Wikipedia views. Streaming and analytics firm Flix Patrol, which monitors daily updated VOD, which is video on demand charts, and streaming ratings across the globe, reported that She-Hulk was the seventh most streamed series on Disney Plus in 2022. According to the file sharing news website Torrent Freak, She Hulk was the ninth most watched pirated television series of 2022. Hmm. Wow. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. All right, the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes reported an approval rating of 79% with an average score of 6.65 out of 10 based on 614 reviews. The site's critics consensus states whether she's fighting bad guys, defending a client, or managing her messy social life. She-Hulk attorney at law passes the bar for binge-worthy viewing. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the series a score of 67 out of 100 on 26 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. The series' first four episodes were reviewed by critics before they debuted. Daniel Feinberg at The Hollywood Reporter called these episodes broad, bright, and eager to serve the audience with a wink and a nudge, though lacking stakes or a distinctive style. He felt the series writing for characters previously seen in more dramatic situations, and the Easter eggs and cameos would be divisive with viewers. Writing for Rolling Stone, Alan Sepinwall said, attempting to be a half-hour comedy series produced mixed but mostly positive results, but believed the series had a harder time distinguishing itself within the MCU than the characters' comic series because the MCU had a lighter tone already compared to the other comics being published around She-Hulk's runs, which made the contrast of her comics more apparent. He also noted the MCU was drastically less populated in regards to characters that could be featured, with Slot having an enormous toy box in the comics to feature a wide array of characters. Sepinwall said the humor of Attorney at Law was softer than what you find in the overtly ridiculous MCU films like Thor Ragnarok or Guardians of the Galaxy, and did not become consistently funny until the fourth episode. Yikes. Damn. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I'm not gonna get into the whole toxic masculinity shit, man. I'm not gonna get into all of that. This is not the place for this shit. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna get into that shit though, man. Anyway, so She-Hulk Attorney at Law got a nomination for the People's Choice Award, Sci-Fi Fantasy Show of 2022. Elizabeth Bernard, Jan Philip Kramer, Edwina Teague, Edwina Teague, and Andrew Park got a nomination for She-Hulk in the Visual Effects Society Awards, Outstanding Animated Character in Episode or Real-Time Project. And there is a whole list of people. So Max Smith, Steve Basinger, Tim Farrell, Goan Everett, Vanessa Lopato, Ryan Coda, Joel Raab, Ian Chase, Sean England, Andrea Gard, and Kim B. Christensen got a nomination for the MPS Golden Reel Awards, Outstanding Achievement in Sound Editing Broadcast Short Form. Uh, rip it and rip it. Damn. Um. Okay. Now on yet where Mary Parker, Leah Dennis, and Zach Millman got a nomination for Outstanding Achievement in Music Editing Broadcast Short Form. Marcus Petrushka, Pete Horner, Kara Urban, Alvin Wee, Doc Kane, and Jason Butler um, got a nomination for the Cinema Audio Society Awards Outstanding Achievement in Sound Mixing for Television Series Half Hour. Um, the Kids' Choice Awards, She-Hulk Attorney at Law got a nomination for Favorite Family TV Show. And it also got a nomination for the Critics' Choice Super Awards, Best Superhero Series, Limited Series, or Made for TV Movie. And Tatiana Maslany won for Best Actress in a Superhero Series of the Critics' Choice Super Awards. MTV Movie and TV Awards. Body got a nomination for Best Musical Moment. Dorian Awards, She-Hulk got a She-Hulk Attorney at Law got a nomination for Campiest TV Show. Golden Trailer Awards, Level Up AV for Digital Split got and drama, Trailer Bite for TV and streaming service. It's gonna be streaming series. Tiny Hero for She-Hulk Attorney at Law Creative Content Campaign got a nomination for Best Viral Campaign for a TV streaming service. Series. Tatiana Maslany got a nomination for the Astra TV Awards Best Actress in a streaming comedy series. Yeah. She-Hulk Attorney at Law got a nomination for the Astra Creative Arts TV Awards. Best Stunts. Yeah, Best Stunts. Now we go to the Saturn Awards. She-Hulk Attorney at Law got a nomination for Best Superhero Television Series, and Tatiana Maslany got a nomination for Best Actress in a Television Series. And I didn't even know there was a documentary on this though. So in February 2021, the documentary series Marvel Studios Assembled was announced. The specials go behind the scenes of the MCU films and television series with cast members and additional creatives. The special of this series, The Making of She-Hulk Attorney at Law, was released on Disney Plus on November 3rd, 2022. And let's see. And of course, the reason why. Okay. So the reason why there was no continuation of She-Hulk because of money. It has to do with money and the budget. It was just too expensive to produce, according to some of the YouTubers. According to some of the YouTubers who create content, who also go over the movies and the TV series and stuff like that. Shouts to you YouTubers out there, man, who create content. going over TV shows, the money aspects and stuff. So shouts to you. All right. So there you go, man. And sometimes when TV shows get canceled, it's not because of the stupid ratings. It has to do with money. It has to do with money. That's pretty much what that is. So yeah, so yeah, there you go right there, folks. Um I'm out to let's go to I'm out to go to let's go into all right, we got some all right, let's go over some stuff that came out in the month of May. And I want to go into the video games chamber. All right. And this is in regards to some upcoming games and all that stuff. Upcoming games and all that stuff. So let's get into it. What the hell's going on here? All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right, let's get into this. All right, so um gonna go over the games that came out in the month of May and what's coming out in the month of June. Since June is tomorrow, I'm gonna go over some games, upcoming games that's coming out in the month of June. So keep an eye out on those dates in June in case any of you gamers out there are planning to get some new games for your PlayStation 5s, your PlayStation 5s, and of course your PlayStation 5s and all that stuff. Apologies for the loud car out there. Um Now before I go over the games that's coming out, man, we got some breaking news in regards to the Nintendo Switch. In regards to the Nintendo Switch date. A little bit of an update actually. Let me see. Yeah, a little bit of an update of when it's coming out. Um okay. So when is it releasing? Let me see. So all right, so all right, let's go into this breaking stuff. So according to the folks from Engadget, the update goes like this. Here's what's happening. The Nintendo Switch 2 will launch soon as on June 5th. Pre-order advice currently remains the same, which is to say that you probably won't be able to pre-order the console before launch day anymore, since all retailers still listed as either unavailable or coming soon. Now it's all about launch day logistics. A number of retailers, including Best Buy, plan to open some stores early on June 5th and have stock available for customers to purchase on site. If you didn't manage to get a pre-order in already, your best bet may be to go to your local Best Buy, your Walmart, Target, on GameStop on June 5th to see if you can walk out with a new console that day. That day, oh man. I know how crowded it's going to be, man. I know how crowded it's going to be, especially the long lines. That shit's going to be so stressful to even get, though. Yeah, it's crazy though, man. Long lines and shit. Yeah, that can't be much worse than people waiting on long lines for the PlayStation 2 to come out years ago, man. I tell you, that shit was work. That shit was crazy. That shit was so long, man. Like, like that's crazy, man. Anyway, Nintendo Switch pre-orders are officially live at Nintendo's online store, but only if you've received an invite. As advertised, the My Nintendo store began sending out Switch 2 pre-orders invites on Thursday to those who previously registered their interest and meet the company's priority criteria. Excuse me. If you've been chosen, congratulations. You have 72 hours from the time your email was sent to complete your purchase. If you previously signed up but haven't received a notice, well, we'll have to see when exactly it'll arrive. Nintendo has been accepting registrations since April 2nd and is sending invites to past Switch players and Switch online subscribers before anyone else if you meet the priority requirements and signed up on the earlier side. You should hopefully get your invite before most others. If you signed up later, don't be surprised if it takes a while for Nintendo to grace your inbox. The company warned last month that it may not be able to send all invites or even deliver all orders that do get placed before the Switch 2's June 5th release date. Beyond Nintendo, the song sadly remains the same. As of our latest check, the device remains fully sold out at Walmart, GameStop, Best Buy, Target, and other retailers. This has mostly been the case in the US since the Switch 2 first went up for sale on April 24th, and it remains unclear when it'll change. That said, we're keeping an eye out for any surprise restocks that pop up. If you are still hoping to get your hands on the device early, we've rounded up all the Switch 2 pre-order listings we could find for easy access and broken down what to know about buying the console. How to pre-order this Nintendo Switch 2 at the My Nintendo store. As noted, Nintendo is only selling the Switch 2 through the invite system, which began on April 2nd. While it seems likely you'll receive your console before launch day, if you sign up with Nintendo now, we still recommend doing so in case stock remains low at other stores. Registration is free and you'll receive your invite eventually, even if it takes some time. On that point, Nintendo says it is prioritizing invites on a first come, first served basis to registrants who meet the following criteria. You must have purchased a Switch Online membership as of April 2nd, 2025. If you only ever been part of a family plan and weren't the paying account, that's a no-go. You must have been a paid Switch Online subscriber for at least 12 months as of April 2nd. You must have logged at least 50 hours of total Switch gameplay time as of April 2nd. You must have opted into sharing gameplay data with Nintendo as as April 2nd, 2025. You can confirm this in your account's privacy settings. You must be a Nintendo account holder who is at least 18 years old. If you fulfill those requirements, you'll be ahead in Nintendo's invite queue. If not, you'll have to wait until after the priority restraints receive their emails. Once they do, the remaining invites will go out on a first come, first serve basis. Whenever you get your email, you'll have a 72-hour window to buy. As with the other stores, you have two models to pick from: switch, the base switch 2 console. Not gonna believe the amount, for $450, and a bundle with Mario Kart World for $500. Note that you can only purchase one console per invite. You'll also be able to pick up certain accessories when it's your time to shop. Damn. Really? You make it that expensive? Shit. You making it that expensive? That's crazy, man. Wow. Ah, man. Yeah, so yeah, that's crazy though. Yeah, so there you go, folks. Wait a minute, hold on. Hold on, there's more. Um, yeah, we received our invite late Thursday evening after signing up about an hour after the registration window first opened. We posted screenshots of what the official invite email and buying process looks like below. Let's see. Broadly speaking, the experience is far less chaotic than it's been at other stores. Our confirmation email says that our console will ship by June 4th. Okay. And how to pre-order the Nintendo Switch at other retailers. Unfortunately, the Switch 2 remains sold out everywhere else as of this writing. To recap the situation, after a 2 week delay, Nintendo finally kicked off Switch 2 pre orders at third party retailers in the US and Canada at midnight Eastern on April 24th. Damn the fucking tariffs, man. Sheesh. Damn the fucking tariffs, man. That's fucking insane. Anyway, a couple of hours later, stock at Walmart, Target, and Best Buy has sold out. GameStop began taking pre-orders later that morning, but quickly met the same fate. Some eagle-eyed buyers were reportedly able to pre-order through Walmart as late as April 26th, but things have dried up since. Other membership retailers like Costco and Sam's Club have switched to listings as well, but we haven't seen anything to suggest they will accept pre-orders. Newegg also has a switch to page, but hasn't provided an option to buy just yet. As for Amazon, we assume the Switch 2 will eventually be available there, but it's not today, and there's been no indications as to when that might change. Well, wait a second. Even before the Switch was unveiled, stock of the original Switch and first party Switch games had been limited at Amazon US for several months. If you are desperate to catch a restock, it's a good idea to create a out with the retailers above and ensure all of your shipping and billing info up to date with each. Downloading each store's mobile app and signing up for notifications may help too, though that could get annoying fairly quickly. Yeah. So there you go. There you go. Mario, wait a minute. This is crazy. So this is crazy. This is crazy. Wow. Wow. Okay. So this is crazy. This is pretty much the update on the Nintendo Switch 2, all that stuff. And the official release date is June 5th. If you already made your order on the Nintendo Switch and a possible Mario Kart game and stuff, you'll probably get it around June 4th. All right, depending on where you find on the website, depending on the store as well. And if not, you could probably look at Amazon as well. So there you go, right there. All right, let's go to some games that got released. Let's see. Where were we? Where were we? Yes. Let's do this. Let's do this. Yes. So for yes, so yeah, I actually talked about so all right, so for the month of May, Shotgun Cop Man, the what the Clash. These are the games for PC, um, PS5, Xbox Series, and Apple Arcade. What the Clash, Vellum, um, Best Served Code, Drop Ducci, Among Us 3D, Blight Knight, Siege Caster, PC Unblock, PC Deck of Haunts, PC Survival Machine, PC Bahamut, Bahamut, and Wask Tree, PC Revenge of the Savage Planet, PS5 Express Series, and PC Sonic Rumble, PC, iOS, and Android. Um, the Midnight Walk, PS5 and PC. Vanbrant's Dungeon Monarch, PC. Yes, Your Grace Snowfall, PC. And Legacy of Sin 3 Boating. Labyrinth of the Demon Kings, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Omega Crafter, PC, both from PC. Voice Sales, PC. Boventure, The Wild Co-op, PC. Doom, The Dark Ages, PS5, Xbox Series, PC. Nubs Arena, PC. Tennis Manager 25, PC. Capcom Fighting Collection 2, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Um, Calibra and Souls of Limbo, Xbox Series, Switch, PC. Of Life and Land, PC. Undying Flower, PC. Froglegs, PC. Kathy Rain 2, Soothsay, PC. Mutants, Genesis, PC, iOS, and Android. Roadcraft, PS5, Xbox Series, PC. Mosquito Gang, PC. The Siege and the Sandbox, PC. Fantasy Life, the Girl Who Steals Time, Switch and PC. Game of Thrones, King's Row, PC, iOS, and Android. Monster Train 2, PS5, Xbox Series, Switch, PC. Cookie Clicker, PS5, Xbox Series, Switch, and Switch 2. Deliver at all costs. PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. Duck Detective, The Secret Salami, PC. Grandma No, PC. Linked Banner of the Spark, PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. Musha 2, Samurai's Destiny, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Out of Sight, PS5, Xbox Series, and Switch, PC. Survive the Fall, PC. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Tactical Takedown, PC, Warhammer 40,000 Speed Freaks, Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun Wars of Vengeance, Worshippers of Tohu, PC. Twilight Wars, PC. The Reminder, PC. Icebox and Automation Adventure, PC. 2AT, to a T. Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC. Filmography, PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. Islands and Trains, PC. Disney Illusion Island, which came out yesterday, PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. Elden Ring, Night Rain, PS5, PS4, Xbox One, PC. Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma, Switch, and PC. Now we go to the month of June. Void Sayer for PC, June 2nd. Void Scout, PC, June 2nd. NWO Anarchy Collapse, PC, June 3rd. Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster, June 5th. Also coming out on June 5th, Civilization 7 for Nintendo Switch 2. Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition, Nintendo Switch 2. Fast Fusion, Nintendo Switch 2. Final Fantasy 7 Remake Integrate, Nintendo Switch 2. And of course, Fortnite, Nintendo Switch 2. Hitman World of Assassination Signature Edition, Nintendo Switch 2. Hogwarts Legacy, Nintendo Switch 2. Mario Kart World, Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo Switch 2 console launch June 5th. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, Nintendo Switch 2. Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma, Switch, Nintendo Switch 2. Street Fighter 6, Nintendo Switch 2. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Nintendo Switch 2. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo Switch 2. Parallel Experiment, PC, iOS, and Android. Yakuza 0, the Director's Cut, Nintendo Switch 2. Dune Awakening, PC, comes out June 10th. All the games that I just mentioned comes out June 5th. June 10th, Mind's Eye for PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. Also coming out on the 10th of June, Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine Master Crafted Edition, Xbox Series, and PC. And of course, June 13th, I think that's Friday the 13th. That's something. I think that's Friday the 13th. If I'm not mistaken, I'll have to check. I'll check it out when I get off the air. Anyway, June 16th, Jex Trilogy, PS5, Xbox Series, Switch, PC. FBC Fire Break, Xbox Series, PS5, and PC, comes out on the 17th of June. Also coming out on the 17th of June is Kitty Builder for PC, Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, PC, iOS, and Android. And the 19th of June, Raydu Remastered, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, and PC. And of course, Rematch for PS5, Xbox Series, and PC, June 19th. Also, Shuffle Tactics for PC, June 24th. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, PS5, June 26th. Persona 5, The Phantom X, PC, iOS, and Android. Also coming out on the 26th the 26th of June is Ruffy and the Riverside for PS5, Xbox Series, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. System Shock 2, the 25th anniversary remaster, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC. Horizon Journey comes out on the 27th for PC. Also coming out on the 27th on the following is Tamagotchi Plaza for Nintendo Switch. All right. So I think I'm going to wrap up. I think I'm going to wrap up right here, actually. Hang on. I think I'm going to wrap up right here. Let me see. All right. All right, I'm going to wrap up right here with this. Stream choices on the go. Let's get into it right here, right now. All right, make sure you follow Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast on Bluesky Social, Facebook, Threads, alongside with Instagram. The same goes with my other podcast shows that I do are my sports edition show, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, alongside with my comedy Off the Meat Rack Chainz New York Avenue podcast. I just dropped 2 episodes yesterday, episodes 395 and 396. 396 in the episode I talked about the Queens bus redesign for you folks out there in different areas of Queens, whether you are from Hook Creek Boulevard, Green Acres, Rosedale, Francis Lewis Boulevard, Brookville Boulevard, Merrick Boulevard, along with the 240s, the 230s, the 220s, and the other streets who have bus stops removed, including the one by Merrick and 115th Avenue, where John's Farmers Market has been removed as well, and along with others. And like I said, I did put a question in the YouTube community post in regards to that on my primary YouTube channel, G Money Stacks 555. Be sure to check it out and let me know how you feel about those changes to the bus routes and the locations and stuff. So, and of course, you can also find me on Threads as well, alongside with Instagram under G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. And if you go to the link in bio, you're gonna see a whole list of audio streaming platforms, the newly added streaming platforms that I will mention right now. So you folks out there, don't forget are Audible, Odyssey, newly added Amazon. No, not Amazon. Yeah, Amazon Music. That's not the newly added one I'm talking about here. Apple Podcast is the newly added streaming platform. Good Pods is another newly added streaming platform that I just mentioned. And of course, we have Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Overall FM Podcast, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podo Polo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Podcast Guru, Podcatcher, another newly added streaming platform, and of course, Podcast Republic is another newly added streaming platform that just add this podcast and the other podcast shows that's also on there as well. And of course, Snipped, Spotify. Please be sure to listen to the episodes on Spotify. And you can add the Spotify playlist to your playlist on Spotify. All right. Spotify for creators, you can also comment on there. Actually, I should have a question in regards to the Queen's Bus redesign on I should have did that actually, and I didn't get a chance to do that, but I will try to do that as well. Anyway, let's go to TuneIn Radio, Fountain, iHeartRadio, the number one app where you can listen to your favorite music artists, whether it's rappers, R&B artists, hip hop artists, in other music genres, radio stations, and of course, podcast shows and episodes for free. You don't need a credit card or debit card to download iHeartRadio. All you need to do is follow. All you need to do is follow the show Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast on iHeartRadio alongside with the streaming platforms that I just mentioned. And of course, do do the same on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast YouTube channel page for more live video podcast episode live stream recordings. And of course, leave a like and a comment along with the episodes and topics. Tell me how you feel about the topics in today's episode or previous episodes, whatsoever. Tell your friends, spread the word, add the podcast to your Spotify playlist, and of course, be sure to also share the video. Be sure to share the video. You can share the videos if you want. You can also enable alerts for new episodes on every streaming platform, including Spotify, including everything that I just mentioned, including YouTube. And be sure to also share the Linktree link with all the streaming platform links on there with your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, girlfriends, the people you're cool with from work. And of course, new episodes will be posted on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. All right. And there you go, right there. Now, I'm about to head up out of here. That's gonna do it. I'm your man, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, and I would like to say thank you for taking the time to check out the episodes. You could have listened to any other podcast in the whole world, but you chose to listen to this entertainment review of the music stories, the movies, the TVs, also the games and the game systems that I actually talk about on here as review topics and stuff. And of course, remember the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard and earn it. All right. It's not going to be given to you on a fucking silver platter. You have to find your niche, be on your P's and Q's on a consistency basis. Ask yourself this question: are you creating a podcast for money in the moment, or are you doing it for the fun and Are you doing it for fun and and to actually, you know, talk about random? So, and I like to say this though. There is no right time or wrong time to start a podcast, okay? There is no right or wrong way to doing your podcast. All right. Not a lot of people, including myself, is relying on recording studios because they're very expensive. And that's why I wanted to teach myself how to produce episodes and how to create content episodes for for each and upcoming podcast shows that I do. All right. Don't let anybody stop you or tell you how to do your shows. And don't let anybody tell you not to call your show a podcast because everybody's different. Everybody's different. Everybody's philosophy of podcasting is a little different. So there you go right there. There you go right there. And of course, be on your P's and Q's creatively, mentally, physically, and spiritually that get you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. And if you are planning on starting a podcast and the types of topics you want to talk about, make sure you go on websites to find some topics to talk about that you want to express yourself with, whether it's with yourself as a host or with a co-host, whether it's like some friends, all that great stuff, man. All that great stuff. And I enjoy creating podcast episodes for you folks out there that's actually listening. And I thank you for actually um for those who subscribed on the YouTube channel page. Y'all are the real ones right here. We're up to 28 subscribers. I want to keep growing. I want to keep growing the subscribers on YouTube, on this channel, and alongside with my other channels. And also make sure you subscribe to my other channels as well. My sports YouTube channel page, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, and of course my primary number one YouTube channel, G Money Stacks 555, for my comedy off the Meat Rat Chainz New York Avenue podcast. So, so there you go, right there, man. I'm gonna see y'all next time on the flip side with more new topics of music stories alongside with movies, TV shows, gaming news. You just name it, man. I got it all right here, man. And don't let the haters on YouTube who are hating on movies and other stuff um um make you feel away, because I noticed the people on YouTube who are hating on every movie and stuff. Yeah, they doing it for clicks and shit, but at the same time, like, for people like me who do a podcast, I actually like to keep shit simple. I keep it simple. So, you know what I mean? You know, yeah. So don't let anybody stop you or make you feel away. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be out of here right now. Peace and one love. And of course, see y'all next time with more new episodes, more new topics. And of course, please tell your friends to subscribe to the YouTube channels that I just mentioned. All right. If y'all want to see more of me and support me, go ahead, subscribe, like, and if you like to donate, if you like to donate to if you like to make a donation to my PayPal or Cash App, you're more than welcome to do that. It's in the episode description of your choice. All that great stuff right there will be appreciated. All right. You don't have to, it's optional. All right. So, peace and one love. See y'all next time. Good night, everybody.